Welcome to Rotten Taste, where we take a look at movies that are usually 60% or under on Rotten Tomatoes and tell you what we think of it. And today we are looking at the 1995 film Tank Girl, which has a
Mm.
46% score on Rotten
Oh,
Tomatoes.
okay.
46%.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Come on.
So it didn't hit, it's there. This is kind of in our wheelhouse. So when we got back into doing these Rotten Taste episodes, I kind of went through
Yeah.
Tubi and I made a list. Like, all right, let me just see what's free. And these are like suggestions of movies that I would be willing to talk about and like gave it to you. Like, all right, let's, kind of get a common ground. We like doing that. Something we, and you saw this movie Tank Girl. And I'll tell you why I put it on the list. But then you said you've never seen it.
Correct.
And
Yep.
I was kind of shocked. Now, I guess I shouldn't say shocked. Just again, I always go to the fact that, working at Blockbuster, we see a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
so I was very intrigued by this. Now, I have to admit, the reason I had Tank Girl on that list is
Mm-hmm.
this isn't one that I remember fondly. Because I will tell you this, Soto. I remember watching this for the first time, and I don't know if it was the trailers, it was a different feel. And I remember the first time I saw this movie, I was vastly disappointed. I know I saw this again, and I think I appreciated more the second time around because I think I've only seen this movie two or three times. But when you
Mm-hmm.
told me you haven't seen it, I'm like, okay, I know I haven't seen this in about 30 years because I think I was
30.
17. Well, I was 17 when it came out, and I know I saw it. Like I said, I know I saw it a few times, but this is a movie I never really went back to. I don't think, as we always say with a lot of other movies, this wasn't always on. This it wasn't, just like you turn on, it just happens to be on again and again.
That's not what I hear, but yes, I hear you.
I
Yes.
guess it depends on what services, HBO, whatever you had. So, but anyhow, I was not a fan of this the first time. This is a movie that I was disappointed in because I think I expected so much out of it because I rewatched that trailer and it makes you feel like it's a different kind of movie. It is
Oh,
a
I didn't even watch
comic
the
book.
trailer.
I had to. I had to know why I was so disappointed because I knew that. I'm like, is it because I was expecting one thing and ended up being another? I knew it was based on a comic book, a very not known comic book. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that intrigued me because, again, in that time period, comic book movies weren't as big as they are now. Yes, you had your Batman
Yeah.
and Superman, but all these little side things usually don't do well. And this is a very niche idea.
Right. Yep.
So, yeah,
Kind
I
of a
kind of
cult.
want to see this because I'm like, you know what? I want to see this as an adult. I don't remember a thing about this. All I remember was it had Lori Petty and it's about a girl in a tank. And
Yep.
so I need to. Why do you feel like this one passed you by before we get into your opinion of what you thought of the movie? But why do you think you missed this movie? Because I'm assuming you heard of it. I mean, you had to have, but
Yeah.
why do you think you never got around to watch this?
I'm going to tell you the same thing that this is the conclusion I've come to. Whatever my little sister was into, I basically thought was like the dumbest shit in the world. And this Tank Girl apparently, from what I remember when I've heard from my wife, it was on MTV at night, like all the time. It was playing as a movie. And so I was definitely aware of it. I knew it was a cult movie. But again, I'm the oldest brother. I spent a long time just shitting on my little sister's taste about everything. So while I maybe could have thought it was cool because my little sister was into it, I thought it was like bullshit, like immediately. So I never like tried to access it or gave a shit about it. Um, like ever. And I know my wife is a big fan and she has like a t-shirt of the comic. So she has like a Tank Girl t-shirt. It's like the comic illustrations.
Hmm.
And so she's always been into it. And her and I have always talked about it. She's talked about how much she loves Tank Girl. And in all of our entire relationship, which is 15 years at this week, it's like we've never discussed that I've never seen it. So that's why I was like, oh, I should probably get around to watching this and see what all the old hype is about. And it's a cult movie from what I understand. But it was very much, I will just say, my first impression, very much in the 1995 era of how things looked back then.
I agree, and I think it makes sense and I didn't really think about this, that this was an MTV a lot.
Mhm.
Probably obviously edited a little bit. Um,
Yeah. Yep.
so I don't know if I watched a lot of MTV at night. I was probably doing other things, but at that time,
1995? Yeah, probably not.
no. But you're right. This is a very MTV feel kind of movie, and
Mhm.
because just it bounces around. But yeah, you're correct. This movie was made for 25 million. It only did 6 million at the box office because
Ooh.
it was R. And again, these kind of R-rated comic book movies, very niche titles, don't tend to do well then. But
Mhm.
this did become a cult classic. And like I said, the first time I saw it, I don't know. I just felt like a lot of it was a mess.
Yes.
But then I saw it
It
again, and
feels
like
like
I said, I felt like I didn't say this is a movie I wouldn't say I ever loved, but I think
yeah.
I appreciated more when I kind of understood it more. But now that I
Mhm.
see it again, and now that I've read a little bit more what that comic was about, because I wanted to do a little research, I'm like, why did this movie fail?
Mhm.
And yeah, the comic wasn't around for too long. I think about 7 years, and then it kind of revitalized because I think the comic ended right before this movie actually came out. And the
Wow.
premise is similar, except they talk about this, tank girl who drives a tank, but actually lives in the tank. Where in this movie, it just felt like she found a tank, like I'm driving this shit. Um,
Yeah, it was so random. Like I'm pretty sure she didn't get into a tank till like 40 minutes into the movie. 'Cause that's in my notes of being like, there's a lot of tank girl, but there's no tank.
mhm.
And then when she did get in a tank, it certainly wasn't intimate enough where you would think that she'd be living in this thing. Like
Yeah,
that's an interesting idea to explore. That did not happen in this movie.
it didn't. And I will say, the problem I think with this movie in the beginning is, yeah, we get this, kind of cool introduction, comic book feel, like they're kind of giving quick intros. And
Yeah.
then, skip a little bit because you meet, some central characters, her boyfriend, this and that.
Yes.
And then, because the thing is there's no water. Like that's the big thing, I think it's called what, Water and Power.
Yeah.
Run
WP.
by
Yeah.
Malcolm McDowell. And so yeah, they're siphoning water in this little place, and then they come, the bad guys come and basically shoot up everything. Her boyfriend dies, everyone dies, they kidnap the little girl. And I felt like that was such a dramatic moment,
Hmm.
but I don't know if it was Lori Petty or the acting or just the choice of direction. It did not feel as much of an impact on
No.
her that it could have been. I'm like, oh my
No.
God, this could have been such a darker movie. How, you know, push her into this,
Sure.
kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
And instead, she very much is without the fourth wall break and, kind of Deadpoolish and just the sexual talk, which is
Yes.
fine. And I think
Deadpool is perfect for that. Yep.
so. I think it's weird. I think this movie could succeed nowadays, done a little differently. Again, we talk about my likes in movies, and I think if this explored the darker tones, like it was trying to introduce, I think it
Oh
could be.
yeah.
But
Absolutely.
this has become a very much, and I hate to say it, a girl power kind of movie. And there was some fun parts, but you're right, everything just there's just too much going on, jumping around. There was no structure, and I forgot
No.
that Ice-T was in this. I didn't realize Naomi Watts was in this. I'm like, shit, Naomi Watts? This is like before
I liked
my
her. Yeah, the
time.
Jet Girl. That was cool. That was one of the positives of the movie. But dude, like Lori Petty was really great in this. Like she is fantastic. You touched upon a great fucking point. Like it's Deadpool, but it's not enough Deadpool. Like Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool is like Deadpool the whole movie, and it's like go go go. And when it comes to these kind of movies, we talked about this with like Naked Gun. You have to keep going. Like the momentum has to keep going. And there was parts of this movie where I was like, I'm fucking bored. Especially like it starts pivoting towards the kangaroos and shit, like mutant kangaroos. And like I was actually bored. And I'm like, I don't care. Like if you're a movie that doesn't have a plot, but your vibes are there, kind of like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I'm with you, right? Just don't be boring. Don't be boring as a movie. Like you had Lori Petty, you could have like dove more into that. You could have like given her more, I guess, screen time. Like, cause she like it's an iconic performance, but the rest of the movie is just stupid and out of place. And again, at times the worst thing, it's boring at times. That was my biggest issue with this movie. It's like an hour and 44 minutes or whatever is it an hour and 44
Yeah,
minutes? How
that
long this
sounds
movie?
about right.
like too long. Like 20 minutes, way too long. Like you cut 20 minutes off this movie, you make it tighter, you make the jokes tighter, you make it bang, 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 and it's like way better of a movie. Like, but again, Lori Petty outshines everything in this fucking movie. And because there's like no story to drape her great character on. Like, and so that's kind of like how my overall feeling was. And that's what I said at dinner last night. It's funny that you mentioned the Deadpool thing. Because that's exactly what it was. It's like trying to be Deadpool, but not going far enough.
Correct, and not breaking that fourth wall. And this is during the
Yeah.
time Lori Petty was everywhere in the early 90s. I had to look up her
She did a
filmography.
lot.
So yeah,
Yeah.
91
Oh, love it.
Point Break, excuse me.
Good break.
Point
With
Break.
Keanu. Yeah.
Yes, 92 League of Their Own. Then she had Free Willy, In the Army Now, and then Tank Girl. Like for 5 year period, she was like the hot actress, and then just kind of felt. I know she got more in directing and other thing, and I think this was a perfect vehicle for her.
Yeah. She was awesome in this.
And you're right. There are certain parts that you are enjoyable, but again, it bounced around way too much. And I actually
Yeah.
read in the comics that kangaroo tribe, the mutant kangaroo warriors, the
Yeah.
Booga, is actually her
Yeah.
boyfriend in the comics. They have a love relationship. I don't think
They threw
obviously
that
they
in there.
explored that. They kind of did.
They kind of alluded to it, and I was like, where is this coming from? I was like, first of all, I hated the fucking makeup, but yeah, I was just like, where is this coming from? Like, I didn't understand at all. But I guess if you're a fan of the comic, you would have got it. But I was like, she's fucking this kangaroo dude now? Like, I don't even know if I like this guy.
You're right. There wasn't too much of an explanation because they were called what, the Rippers or something like that, or people
Yeah,
thought
they
they
were
were,
kind of scary
and
at
then they're
first,
just all of a sudden this lovable, kind of clan. And
except for Ice
I,
T. It was very angry kangaroo.
yeah, good old iced tea. But looking back and again trying to watch this 30 years later, and I'm kind of watching this, and
Yeah,
it's tough, and I get why some people love it. I just think this is a movie that had so much potential, and it was just
I
this is
agree. Oh,
like
a
you
lot of
said,
potential.
yeah. But this movie would be nothing without Lori Petty. I mean, I know
Yes.
Naomi Watts did fine. It was great to see her.
Oh, she's great. I loved
And
her. Yeah, of
Malcolm McDowell eats up a lot of scenery because he's in so many of these kind of movies. But it's hard not to love him in anything he's in because he's just like
course.
he just goes
Natural
with
villain.
it. Though it was very weird. He's trying to he gets injured, and the idea is to cut off his head and replace it with a hologram. And I kind of
Yeah, I
was just like,
don't
what the fuck's
understand.
going on? I felt like there's so much explanation I needed for this just to get it.
You're either in or you're out when it comes to these kind of ideas. You're either into the whole idea of Tank Girl, but if you're trying to kind of live in that in between world, that's what you end up getting with this. And yeah, just Lori Petty, icon. This will be her movie. She will always be known for. I know that she's obviously Kit in League of Their Own. That I'm always reminded of that. But this is her movie to shine, and you know, I think it would be a great remake. I think that she was a little bit let down by what was going on at 1995.
Agreed. And I think, again, in today's world, a movie like this, can succeed. It's if done right. If done right. Not
Oh
obviously
yeah,
in this MTV
90
style.
minutes, dude. You give me 80 minutes with this idea. It's tight. It's good, dude. This movie would slap right now, currently. But back then, it gives Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, oh, oh. Would you say this is worse than Super Mario Brothers or better? Because Super Mario Brothers is bad. I
I enjoy Super Mario Brothers more than I enjoy Tank Girl. I don't know if that makes it a better movie or not, but at least there's like a laughing factor with Super Mario Brothers. But I don't know how long Super Mario Brothers is. I had to put this to the test, but my biggest issue with Tank Girl is that was it should not have been as boring as it was.
and unfortunately I missed the mark. Yeah,
It
this is
was
just again. I wanted to see it 30 years later, about roughly, and just to see because
Yep.
I was curious. I knew the first time I saw this, I was disappointed, and I
Mhm.
think part of that was, like you said, I think I expected so much. I wanted to see something different. This had a different vibe. You could tell in the trailers,
Yep.
and it let me down. And like I said, second time I think it was I kind of just understood it, meaning, it's like, all right, but this is just going to live in cult classic. And that's the thing about
Yeah.
cult classic movies. There's a reason they call them that. It's because it's not for everyone. There's a reason a
Yep.
lot of times they bomb and, just people find a second viewing. I would
Mhm.
love to see this redone in a
Oh
way.
yeah,
Like I said,
I agree.
give the darker version, have her live in the tank. Um, I
Use
guess the
more
kangaroos
colors.
have to be part of the story, but man, they could do a little something different or make them a little bit better.
In 2026, maybe 2028, like, that technology, absolutely, yeah. I mean, so many opportunities with color and just again like that, the comedic like timing, just tighten that up a little bit better and have a little bit more like really kind of over the top action sequences, dude. Keep it at 85 minutes. You have a fucking masterpiece. 85 minutes, boom, tight, in and out, done.
But
Yep.
yeah, there's not much more to say about Tank Girl. I mean, I can't. I'm never gonna watch this again. I think I relieved that itch and realized why I didn't like it the first time. Is this the worst thing I've ever seen? Nope.
Yeah,
But
but if anybody ever gives us a ton of money, we'll remake it. We'll just promise that to everybody right now. It's like we get $1 billion, we'll remake Tank Girl. It'll be great.
yes, and it'll be at 85 minutes. That's what Soda wants to do, an 85-minute
Not a
movie.
minute more. Not a minute. It's gonna be an 85-minute fucking banger.
For those who have listened this long, let us know what you thought of Tank Girl. This is probably going to be one of our shorter podcasts, but let us know if you liked it, what scenes you liked, or if you
Yeah.
thought it was a mess. If you agree with us, tell us. And there's not much more I can say. I don't even have a witty comeback. I mean, Tank Girl says it all in there. So
Yeah.
there's no way for me to end this Soto. So as the movie did to us, this is just going to end in disappointment.